Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday. We're on number 30 of self-love, but I found something new that we can start doing that will help, I really think, kind of help solidify that self-love. It's called Getting into the Vortex. It's a deck of 60 relationship cards. But again, like the affirmators relationships, we're talking about the relationship with ourself. And when we have a great relationship with ourselves, it can a lot of times, well, I would hope more times than not, really kind of flow into all of your other relationships, whether it's romantic or coworker or business partnership or family, friends, all those things, siblings, parents, all those kinds of relationships that we have with people. So we're probably going to start those maybe sometime next week or the week after, but we'll definitely get going. There's a lot of cards in there, and it'll probably take us right into the beginning of February. But you know what? It's okay, because when we start those cards, I am going to, some days there may be a subject, and that may just be the starter card, or that could be the card for the day. But it will also go right in through Self-Care Wednesday. So each Self-Care Wednesday will include those Vortex cards. But I hope you join me for that, because I was looking over some of the cards, and I'll be honest with you, I've had this deck for probably about 7 or 8 years. I haven't really looked through it. I haven't really used them. It was one of the first deck of cards I ever bought. And I was just kind of drawn to it, and I never understood why, because I keep forgetting I have them, and it really shows in how stiff the cards are and how stuck together they still are. But that being said, don't focus so much in on the saying of it or the terminology used there. When it says getting into the vortex, the vortex is you. So getting into your being, getting into your soul, yourself, who you are. Okay, so let's see. Affirmators deck. Sorry, all these text messages are coming in. Even though I put my phone on do not disturb, people can still get through, so I'm distracted. So anyways, giving. Oh look, it's a person giving themselves a gift. By going through this whole 30 lessons of self-love, we've been giving ourselves the gift of self-love, giving the gift of seeing ourselves and who we really are. If you've been following along these lessons and you've been doing the questions, and maybe if you've been journaling along, whatever it is, there was no homework, that was up to you, then it's probably going to settle in. If it isn't, feel free to go back over from the beginning and start a few days earlier, because that's where I really kind of start setting the foundation, or kind of grading the land, right? When you have to level the land, or you're grading it in construction terms, and you're making it stable, and so that we could build this beautiful house of self-love. And like I've mentioned before, this is the 3rd time I'm actually doing this set of self-love, and it is the first time that it is really kind of sunk in and settled into the way it's supposed to settle into me. And I am extremely grateful, because it can be scary sometimes, when we have to look in, when we have to do this shadow work, when we have to heal things and peel away layers and layers and layers, when things keep coming up and you think, God, I thought I was done with this, and poof, there it is again. When we have that self-love, we're giving ourselves these tools to help us through that, to help us through those dark times, to help us, shine that light in a place where light may never have shone before. And so it gives us this opportunity to kind of move forward past ourselves and into who we really, or past our shadow selves, I should say, the negative parts of ourselves, and to really kind of find our way into a positive light. Now, I'm not all sunshine and rainbows. I'm not all love and light. We're human. Okay, we're human. Not every day is going to be great. Not every day is going to be positive. We learn these tools. We try to lean in towards positivity for those days when the negativity is just striking so hard that we can't see our way out. And sometimes you just have to ride that wave, right? I mean, it might be scary. It might be this huge, ginormous wave, and you're like, how am I going to get through this? But when we have this, light, sunshine, rainbows, love inside of us, we're reminded that this too shall pass. We're reminded that in this moment, it is what it is. And sometimes, again, like I said, you have to roll through it. But it can sometimes keep us from spiraling. I mean, I've been in a strange kind of spiral because this one felt necessary. I don't like them. I don't. But there were things that I had to work out. There were alignments of myself that I had to do. And because I had this self-love, it wasn't as bad as other ones have been, where you just feel so debilitated and you feel like you just can't move. Like the world is closing in on you and you can't breathe. Like you can't get that full breath of air. And that can be scary. That can be very, very scary. So what we're learning here with the self-love is, are these tools to help us through. You know, I have a dinged up mental health, so sometimes spirals can be dangerous. Not for me anymore because of, you know, promises and pacts I've made with people to do no harm to myself. But that doesn't mean I still don't have to deal with my brain on the occasion. And it's gotten easier. It's gotten better. And I'm not saying that it's simple, because for me, it's gotten easier. For the regular person, it could be like, oh my God, how do you do this? How do you do this? But I've been through so many that I'm starting to understand how they work. And the sad thing for me, though, is no matter how much healing I've done, no matter how much self-love I've gathered, I still don't realize I'm in a spiral until I'm in it. You know, it's like closing your eyes on a roller coaster, and then you end up in that loop, and it's the first loop where you realize, oh my God, we're in that corkscrew thing now, you know. So I know it can be scary. It can. And whether you have a dinged up mental health or not, you know, we go through moments that feel like they're just kicking us in the nards, right? Seriously. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be offensive with that, but that's my Monster Squad reference. But yeah, like they're kicking us, you know, in the nether yayas. But yeah, it's self-love helps us find a way out. It helps pull us out from the depths. And the reason self-love is so important is because sometimes we have to pull ourselves out from the depths. We can't always count on people to be there to do it for us. And that doesn't mean that we don't have friends. It doesn't mean we don't have support, but people have lives, you know, and they're not always going to be able to be there when you need them. But the one person that can be there for you, lickety split, is you. That's the importance of self-love. And, God, every time I say that, I think of that Oscar Wilde quote, and it's like, it's one of my favorite quotes, but every time I want to use it, I can't remember it. But I believe it is, to love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong relationship. So, or something along those lines. You can Google it. Oscar Wilde, to love oneself, you know, is the beginning of a lifelong relationship. And it really is. And when you find that you have this self-love, you find that you vibe higher. You know, you put off this energy that is so beautiful. And that even when you have those low days, those dark moments, it doesn't get as dark. It can sometimes. You know, like I said, I'm all about reality here. Okay, you know, I mean, I love to write fantasy stuff, but in living life, there really is a certain reality to it. You know, and the realistic part, I mean, my brain goes everywhere. I believe in so many things that people would say, you say you're about reality, but you believe in that? Hey, until you can prove to me it doesn't exist, why not? Why not? Why do we have to take someone's word for it that something doesn't exist? You know, when you sit around negative people, they'll sit there and tell you, like, there's no way you can be positive the majority of the time. It's just not possible. It is possible. I'm proof it's possible. And there's a big struggle that's been going on for the last couple of weeks just in my own life. And yet somehow I have managed to rise above that and do my best, even in the low moments, to maintain this positivity so as to not sink any further. To kind of put that board underneath me as I try to figure out how to get out the rest of the, you know, get up and out the rest of the way. But when I talk to you, this is genuine. This is real. I mean, as you can see from Monday when I kept tripping over my words. But let's get back to the card. Giving. Okay? I welcome the idea of give and take in my relationships, and I eagerly practice the give part. By giving freely, I discover just how fun giving really is. Giving my time, care, and attention to someone else actually gives me good feelings, which makes me want to give even more. Wait a second, does this selflessness make me look selfish? Be honest. No, it doesn't. I love, these are the snarky cards, right? These are the super snarky cards. But just remember, the one thing I want to point out when it says giving of my time, etc., actually gives me good feelings. The one thing I want to remind people is it's great to help people. It's great to do things for people and to, and get that good feeling from it. But if you're doing it strictly because, you can't figure out how to find your own joy and happiness within you don't know how to fill your own cup, you have to find a way to do that. That's the self-love. That's where self-love comes in. If you are doing things for other people to make yourself feel good and to hope that it fills your cup, when you walk away from that situation, maybe you gave someone something that they've been dying for, right? Like, oh my God, I wanted this so bad. This is great. And you feel like the hero present giver, right? But what happens when you leave? What happens when that moment's over? What happens, a week from now when the person's no longer thanking you every 5 seconds for this amazing gift? They still appreciate it, and they do, but that period of time has passed. How are you feeling? Are you still feeling good? Hoping that they text you 2 weeks from now saying, wow, thank you again so much. Or are you saying, after you leave that moment, in that moment, that same day, going, you know what? That felt really good. I'm going to, that helps my cup stay full. Your cup needs to fill it. You need to fill it with your joy by doing things for you that make you feel good, by giving yourself this self-love, by, giving yourself time and care and attention to something that you need. It's not selfish. It's necessary. That is called self-care. And self-care, as far as I'm concerned, is in this fabulous relationship with self-love. They go together. They're like twins, okay? Maybe they're not in a relationship. Maybe they're siblings. They're siblings. Self-care and self-love. They truly do go hand in hand. And people will say, well, you're talking about you and how you need time and you need care and you need to do this and that for yourself. That's selfish. No, not if you're the kind of person that does everything for everyone. And for one moment, you take time for yourself. I've known people like that, where you give and give and give to them, and then you decide to take time for yourself one day. This person may reach out and say, well, I really need you. And it's like, you know what? I have nothing left in the tank. And then later down the road, they call you selfish because you weren't there for them the one time, even though they forget about all the other times you've been there for them. And a lot of times, I try to look at it now as those are just people who lack their own self-love, who don't know how to fill their cup from their own joy, from their own good feeling. There is nothing wrong with doing for people to make yourself feel good. But that should not be the only way you bring joy to yourself. Excuse me. So sorry. My throat is just so dry and I don't know why. I think it's because I'm making a good point. So, are you ready? I know. I'm a little melancholy. I'm going to say it. I'm a little blue that we're at where we're at now in self-love. I knew this day would come. I knew this sad day would come when we would be done with this. But you know what? Like I said, I've already got, I'm grateful to the powers that be that I lean into, because I like I said, I was rearranging my decks yesterday. This one was buried at the bottom, and I can't tell you how many times I ignore this one all the time because I think, And this morning or yesterday, I pulled the deck and I thought, well, I'm supposed to pull 2 cards for myself, and they were cards that really, really kind of were putting the period on the sentence of what I've been going through, what I've been journeying through. Good Lord, it's like somebody just doesn't want me to talk. So back off, baddies. Anyways, but yeah, so I didn't realize the cards were numbered until later, and I'm a total nerd when it comes to filing. Okay, it's not my favorite thing, but I'm so good at it, and it literally took me less than 4 minutes to shuffle 60 cards into numerical order. So I know I'm just good at it. It's my brain. So anyways, let's get to it. I know I keep procrastinating, you guys. I feel like I'm just not ready to be done yet. But here we are. Lesson number 30. What labels, negative and positive, do you assign to yourself? That is lesson number 30. What labels, negative and positive, do you assign to yourself? Do you make fun of yourself? Do you throw yourself under the bus? Do you call yourself names thinking that you're going to beat someone to the punchline? Those are negative things. You know, like maybe if you're not happy with how you look, you might make fun of your body. You might make fun of the way your hair is. I'll be honest with you, my hair and I have been fighting for about 3 weeks now. It is driving me. It's just in that length where it's just the only thing reasonable is to throw it into a ponytail because it's driving me crazy. But are you in those positions right now where you're struggling to find the positive? You know, I have a friend that I've been helping on a very spiritual level. And when I say spiritual, I don't mean religious, okay? Yes, I believe in God, but I have a very vast spiritual table. And I've mentioned this before. I'm what they call a polytheist, which means a monotheist is a person that strictly believes in one deity. I believe in several because I figure, hey, why not, right? It's not to cover all my bases, but everybody brings something good to the table. But I also grew up a Catholic, lapsed Catholic now, or recovering Catholic, but however they put that. But excuse me. But the person I'm helping is really struggling. They've been struggling for a long time in all different areas of their life. And this morning I was checking in on them, seeing how they were doing, seeing if what we're working through is helping. And they were in panic mode. And I immediately go into try to be positive, and I know that's not always going to be the case for everybody. I have to realize myself that it's not so cut and dry. It was never cut and dry for me. It took me a long time just to get where I'm at, and I still have moments of being negative. But what I have found is that, again, we are our biggest defense against whatever is trying to tear us down. We are our biggest defense in whatever is trying to put their thumb on us and make us feel like we're super low, to vibe low. And we have to learn, even though there are others that are fighting for us, to get a little angry and fight for ourselves. To tell these things, these negative things, to just back the fuck off. And it's still hard for me. You know, I've been on my health journey. I've been trying to do better. And I swear to you, instead of losing weight, I seem to be gaining weight. And I thought, you know what? There are a lot of things I believe in. Is something manipulating my scale? Is it just me? Am I standing funny? Should I stand straight up? Should I stand sideways? Should I put one foot on it and just lie to myself? Who knows, right? But it can be discouraging. And maybe that's the problem. Is that, you know, just in my particular case, or people like me, when we step on the scale, it can be discouraging when you feel like you're doing all this hard work, but nothing seems to be working. Now, I know that muscle weighs more than fat. But trust me, there is not a muscle thing going on here. So whatever it is, I know that I have to get my head back into a good place and just say, you know what? Let's just do this once a week and let's just do what we're doing. Because I think a lot of times the more we focus on improvement in one single area, the more the bad things try to get us down. And there are a lot of people going, yeah, what bad things? You know what? There's always something negative out there trying to tear us down. There is a balance that is out there. And we've all grown up learning this balance in one way or another, but there is a balance out there. And we have to decide for ourselves what part of the balance we want to be on. Do we want to be on the negative side? Do we want to be on the positive side? And I choose the positive side. I think the majority of us will just end up really kind of in the middle, where we teeter-totter from day to day, or maybe week to week or month to month. You know, like maybe we might have 40 good days in a row, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, feels like the whole world is sitting on top of your head and you're carrying like the rest of the universe on your shoulders, right? And then you just kind of sit down, take a deep breath, and remind yourself who the hell you are and how strong you are. So when we talk about labels of negative and positive, what do you assign to yourself? You know, when I've done this in the past, I actually had more negatives than positives when I did it the first 2 times, or even at the beginning when we first started. You know, I would look in the mirror and go, ugh, I really hate you. It's like, I love you, but I hate you. Like a love-hate relationship, right? It's like, you're smart. I'm not a genius, but I'm smart. It's like, you're smart, you're witty, you know, to yourself in the mirror, you're a pretty decent looking person. And then I would move down from my face and I would just be disappointed and thinking, what is it going to take for you to get healthy? And then I think, well, gosh, here I am promoting body positivity, but I'm also talking about a health journey. Well, as I've mentioned in previous ones, I have to be on a health journey for my own particular health. You know, I fight my own little health battles with having a repaired heart. See, my scar. Having a repaired heart. And my heart's fine. My heart's working great. But, you know, I'm not getting any younger. And I can't keep thinking, oh yeah, it's going to tick forever, right? I got to do something to help it. I have to do something to make it better. But then I realized body positivity isn't a specific size. Okay? Body positivity is about loving the body that we're in, no matter what shape or size we are, no matter how tall we are, how short we are, you know, no matter where we wear glasses or not, whether we have, you know, dark hair or blonde hair or red hair or brunettes. I wanted to be a redhead for so long. Turns out, like, I think it's some ridiculous number, low number, like 2% of the world are redheads, like natural redheads. I was like, wow, that'd be pretty cool to be a ginger. But that was since I was a kid. But then I also wanted blue or green eyes to go with that. And yeah, I really draw on the Filipino and the Hawaiian in my blood. That ring of fire, right? The ring of fire really shows up. But then on the other hand, you get these comments where people call you exotic, right? I got called exotic a lot when I was growing up because I was a half-half. My mom thought it was great. My father thought it was kind of a snide remark. Like, yeah, they don't know if she's pretty or ugly, so they call her exotic. He didn't like it. He didn't like it at all. But I thought there was something just kind of unique about the term, you know, because unless you're an Asian, even Hawaiians can't guess that I'm Hawaiian. Filipinos can't. Well, they can because I got the nose. But most other people, they don't. They always get my nationality wrong. You know, I mean, I'm half white, okay, so, or half Caucasian, sorry. I don't know how to put that. I don't want to offend anyone, so I'm half Caucasian. And believe it or not, the Hawaiian comes from my father, who is the Caucasian one in the family. European, British blood, Scandinavian blood. We're pretty like much the world map on that side of me. And then there's my mom, who is Filipino with a little bit of stuff sprinkled in, Spanish, Chinese, all these things. But so now you know my DNA. But my point is that sometimes we grow up with these negative labels. And with this self-love, I can understand why this is lesson number 30. Do we want to continue to assign these negative terms to ourselves? Or do you want to really reach in, be really introspective, right? And search who you are. We're more than just the nationality of ourselves. We're more than just the face that we carry around for an entire life. Or the hair, you know, that we carry, or the eye colors. We're more than that. we're so much more than that. I mean, I know people that aren't Hawaiian that are more Hawaiian than I am. That really lean into the culture. I lean into the culture, but I also lean in, funny enough, I know this is going to sound funny, but I really lean into my Irish culture. I don't know why. There's just the Celtic people, everything about that area is just so fascinating to me. It's just the UK in general. And I got little bits of DNA from each place in the UK. So that's kind of exciting for me. But, I believe in past lives, and I know that at least 2 past lives I've lived there. Not my greatest lives, by the way, but I think maybe that's why the place resonates with my soul. So you just want to go back and live that life that really makes a difference. I mean, I've been all kinds of nationalities in my past life. I've been American before, but that's just me. That's me stepping out of the comfort zone of other people and into my metaphysical side. But whatever you believe, you don't have to believe what I believe, but what you do have to believe is in your own self-love. And like I said, we can continue to place negative labels on ourselves. I'm fat, I'm ugly, my hair is stupid, my hair is graying, my hair is not the color, I hate my eyes, I hate my nose, I hate my nose. Sorry, I know. I just hate my nose. I know. My sister was on right now. She'd be so mad, but she's not. She's hurting. She has a headache this morning, so she's not on. But actually, neither sibling is on this morning that I can see. So anyway, why not flip the narrative? Maybe you're not skinny. Or maybe I will tell you, I will reiterate this again. I had just as severe body issues when I was rail thin as I do now. But it is around this size that I really started having to learn more about myself, gather all this stuff. And it's when I really started to learn to love myself and realize no matter what we see in the mirror, that changes over time. Weight can change, hair can change. Thanks to modern technology, your eye color can change with contacts. Everything, you can get LASIK surgery so you don't have to wear glasses. My eyesight's so bad it won't work for me. But, I've even leaned into the fact of glasses. I used to hate wearing my glasses all the time. But when we first went into lockdown, I thought, well, I'm not going to wear my contacts all the time. It just feels stupid putting them in to not go anywhere, So I left my glasses on, and eventually I started picking ones that I really like. And even when I started going back to contacts, my baby sibling told me, she's all, the face of the face of the perspective are those glasses. She's all, you can't change that. That's your symbol, like the glasses. So I leaned into that. And, I think a lot of times we just say bad things about ourselves because, we do get bullied when we're kids, and not everybody does, but some of us do. And, even if, we don't see someone getting bullied, sometimes the bullies are bullied at home. Sometimes the bullies are bullied elsewhere and we don't see it. And that might be why they're turning around. A hurt person hurts people, right? Or maybe sometimes they're just mean because, it's uncomfortable. We don't know. We don't know what it is that drives people to do the things they do. I mean, we have an inkling and a tiny idea, but we don't know for sure. So if somebody has placed negative labels on you, your job is to lean into your self-love and remind yourself what an amazing human being that you are. Clever, smart, beautiful, handsome, amazing. However you identify, you're amazing. Don't let people tear you down. Don't let people who are uncomfortable with change make you feel like you're not worthy. Because you are. Because it's just like Oscar Wilde said. Look, Oscar Wilde is a great example. He was the way he was in a time when it was not good, not acceptable. And we still struggle with that today, but not as much as back then. But he lived his truth. He lived his honest, authentic self. And, I don't know a lot about him, but for some reason, I just enjoy the idea of him because he is so amazing with all these profound things that he has said. Again, to love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong relationship. And it's true. From the day you were born, you are truly, truly the one person who is with you every moment of every second of every day. And so you need to be the one to teach yourself the self-love, to embrace that self-love, to negate whatever nasty, bitter, ugly things someone has said to you or made you feel like, and remind yourself who you are. Align with yourself. Align with who you truly are. Stamp out the negative and really bring in the positive, because that's what makes it important. That's what makes you important. And again, that self-love has to come from you. It will not come from anyone else. That's why it's called self-love. Right? Kind of backed myself in a corner with that one. So anyways, one last time. What labels, negative and positive, do you assign to yourself? I'm going to choose to assign positive things from now on. But I think the reason it's asking this question is because if you're on lesson 30 and you're still assigning negative labels to yourself, it's time to start assigning positive ones to you. Okay? Remember, however you identify, you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are handsome. You are creative. You are a joy to this world. And for those that cannot see that, that's their problem. It has taken me a long time just to get here. And I'll be honest with you, the ground is still a little shaky for me when it comes to self-love. Because I need to move out of this idea that it's selfish to feel this way. It's not selfish. It's self-care. And it's self-love. And like I said, these are twins. These are siblings. These two go hand in hand like conjoined twins. And I'm not making fun of conjoined twins. I am telling you, this is how tied together they are. They are so intertwined, so, they're not really interchangeable. Well, I guess they are interchangeable with each other. But self-care is a form of self-love, and self-love is a form of self-care. And you owe that to yourself. You deserve that. Don't let people make you feel bad about who you are. If you take time for yourself, don't let people make you feel bad about that because they don't know how to do it for themselves. Because they get their fulfillment from, the kudos they get, or, the that boys or that girls or that whoever's that they get. But when we have a solid foundation of self-love, you start to see how important you are to other people's lives. You start to see who you are and what you bring to the table, what you bring to this world, and what you bring to just life. And that's what you need to remember. Remember your importance in this world. Everybody has a purpose, and everybody is important, whether somebody says you are or not. Find your self-love. Really create that relationship with yourself. And, go live that life the way you want to live it. All right? So, that was a bit bittersweet, wasn't it? That was bittersweet. That was straight up bittersweet. I'm a little sad that we're done. But like I said, we've got a whole new thing coming up, a whole new getting into the vortex being you. And I think it's really going to kind of, in my opinion, from just some of the cards that I've seen already. Now, again, like I said, I have not really ever looked at this deck. I've seen 2 cards in it really that I can remember off the top of my head right now because they were for me this morning. But it's going to be an adventure because I'm not going to look at them anymore until we start that. And like I said, we're going to start with number 1 because the lessons go in order. And so whatever we learn, we're going to learn together, just like the self-love. Okay? Because like I said, it'd been about over a year since I'd done this, so I'd forgotten most of the lessons. But remember your shadow work. Remember the choices you can make right now that will benefit your future self. Who are your role models? What words or beliefs do you want to or do you live by? And again, what labels, negative and positive, do you assign yourself? Whatever negative labels you assign yourself, flip the narrative and try to figure out how to make them positive. All right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you back here Monday. I'm going to have a special Halloween episode. I might even dress up. Maybe. But anyways, we'll have a special Halloween thing. I'm going to do some homework, okay, and see if I can find some fun facts about it, just like I did for Mardi Gras. So anyways, have a great, great day, everybody. I'll see everybody back here tomorrow for Aloha Oracle Friday. It's the beginning of, like, Halloween weekend, right? So even if it doesn't really kind of sound cool to you, or like, oh my God, there she goes with her woo-woo stuff, well, join me anyway. Join me anyways. In fact, maybe we'll pull some cards on Monday just because it is Halloween. But yeah, the veil thins. I don't know. The veil around me is always thin. So, sorry. I'm not trying to roll my eyes on purpose. It is what it is. But yeah, tomorrow, Aloha Oracle Friday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. All lives are public. Under Shelly Marie Lucas. Anybody can join. If you have questions, jump on in. I'll pull some cards and see if we can get you some answers. If not, you can watch it later or you can watch it live and we'll see what comes up. I have no idea what cards we're going to use yet tomorrow. I am told which ones to pick in the excuse me, in the morning, usually right before I start. So, and again, if that's not your thing, I will see you back here Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. All right. If you're not going to join me till Monday, have a great, great weekend. Have a safe weekend. If you're going to any Halloween parties this weekend, please be careful. Do not drink and drive. Drink responsibly. All right. Party responsibly. And have a great one. I'll see everybody tomorrow that wants to join. And again, I got lost there for a second. Sorry. You can also catch the replay on YouTube under the Aloha Perspective with Shelly Marie Lucas. I do share them to Twitter. I have a very short version that I put on TikTok for that kind of like the Cliff Notes version, right? For those on the go. And I do post that to Instagram as well. So have a great, great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And I will talk to everybody tomorrow or I'll see you Monday. Have a great day.